And today we're here to talk about the 3 C's of change. We all know that the game is changing in the vacation rental industry. I'm sure we can all agree that in the last 5 years, we've seen the vacation rental industry change. And I think we can all say that in the last 2 years, it's changed yet again, and it's just continuing to change. Let me just walk you through the 3 C's of change here, and we'll start with Matt, who's a property rental manager. Matt's vacation property management is a tough business. He has to deal with low average occupancies, limited staff and resources, multiple owners, and geographically dispersed inventory. Not only that, but it's getting more competitive and complex due to distribution channels, owners selling direct, increased competition, and advertising costs. But what every PMC wants remains the same. We all want 90% occupancy year-round. We want owners that love us, and we all want direct booking. I think we can all agree on that. So let's talk about the 3 C's of change. The 3 C's of change are the cost of acquisition, the competition, and the complexity of distribution. Let's start with the cost. Traditional advertising as we knew it has definitely changed. Now, it doesn't mean people have stopped buying things. It just means they've changed how they buy those things. I would say it's safe to say that nobody is doing radio or advertising that way anymore. We can all agree that print advertising is not as popular as it was 10 years ago, and there's still a lot of change going on, and more people are using the internet to be able to buy those vacation rental properties. If we take a look here, paid ads are gaining ground. On the average, the top 3 spots take about 41% of the clicks on this page. The sponsored ads are high commercial intent keywords that take up 85% of the above full pixels. And lastly, organic results account for just 14.8% of the above full pixels. Now, the reason is because the cost of AdWords is increasing. There are so many more people in the vacation rental industry as there was, 5 or 10 years ago, and more people are using these types of ways to bring in new guests. And because of it, it's just increasing the price for everybody. And you can see here through 2012 up till last year, we're looking at a 26% increase across 9 major industry categories between the first quarters of 2012 and 2014. Let's talk about another cost. Let's talk about opportunity costs. Now, we're not all big hotel chains. We're vacation rentals. We're running slim, we're running small. Our resources are not as big as other companies. And so we need to decide what's important to us and what we can do. Are we going to concentrate on people coming over the phone? Am I going to concentrate on the internet? I can only do so many things, and at the end of the day, I'm trying to do what's important for me and to bring in new guests. But we all know that if I'm trying to do too many things, I'm not going to be able to do it right. And you just need help and resources to be able to make those opportunities work, because you just don't have the time. I think we can all agree with that. So we've talked about the cost of acquisition. Let's talk about the competition. I think the number 1 people you're competing with are your owners. How many people are seeing that their owners are selling direct? Okay, quite a few of you, they're going to Airbnb, HomeAway, and Flipkey. It's happening to everybody. What you're also seeing is what we call the 15 uncles, where your owner says, hey, I have an uncle that's coming to stay. Oh, I have another uncle coming to stay. And that just keeps going on. And that takes inventory away from you, the property management company, being able to help that individual owner. I think at the end of the day, these things start to hinder us, and they start to hurt us from driving revenue to our owners, being able to price accordingly out in the market. And then we start to see these types of things. So have you guys heard recently the property manager hears that there's a lady hanging outside in a tree, and he goes outside and he goes, excuse me, ma'am, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, I'm trying to get back into my room. And he goes, well, why didn't you just, you know, she says, oh, he goes, why? And she goes, oh, I got locked out and my key is in the room. And he says, well, why don't you just come to the front desk and we'll give you a new key? And she's like, well, I booked with the owner a really special rate and he told me not to tell anybody or go through the front desk or anything like that. These types of things are happening all over the place, and one, your owner is actually hurting you and he doesn't realize it in a number of different ways. One, this becomes a nightmare while other guests are looking on. It creates bad reviews. So your owner is not affected, but you as the property management company are. But then it goes back to the owner when they ask you, why aren't they getting more revenue? And you can say, well, if you're renting out the room yourself, they're not going through the front desk. We're not providing them the amenities and the concierge styles and customer service that we're used to, so that we can have good reviews, so we can drive more people to the property, so more people will book. So these are the types of things that are affecting. Not only are you losing out on the room because it's being undercut, but those reviews are going to start to hurt you. Competing with other PMCs. So now we're not just talking about now you're competing with other property management companies in your own building. So not only are you competing with the owners, but now you're competing with other property management companies in your own building. So that's making it tough. Not only do you have to compete against somebody that's pricing lower, but then you're also competing against somebody else that's pricing higher. So how do you know what you should be priced? So now there's this competitive edge. Not only that, but you're now competing against the properties that are across the street and in the neighboring areas. And how do you really know what that price is going to be? You might think that you have the best rate out there, but at the end of the day, you don't know that for sure, and that's why you might not be getting as many bookings as you can. And in your busy seasons, you might be charging too less of an amount. You might not be charging enough money, and therefore you're missing out on the advantage to make more money for not only yourself but for your owners. So you need tools that are going to help you to be competitive and that will get that information for you so that you can drive more bookings and revenue not only to yourself but to your owners. Let's talk about the last C here, which is complexity. And that's complexity of the distribution. You have DMOs and resort channels. We have, the OTA channels, Orbitz, Expedia, Booking.com. How many with a show of hands are using the Orbitz, Expedia, and Booking.coms of the world? Okay, excellent. How many people are using Airbnb, HomeAway, Vacation Groups as a show of hands and those types of channels? Okay, great. How many people are using both of these areas to promote and drive more people to your properties? Okay, excellent. So for everybody, take a look around. As the people in this room could be considered your competitors. They're using it. It works. I'm sure you can be able to talk to them, but you can get an idea of what's going on here. It is complex inventory. There are no standards, and they're just evolving channels growing more and more. It's partial or difficult to connect to. You might not know how. It can be a manual process. So there are a lot of things in the complexity of how these channels work. At the end of the day, you can't be on just one channel because there's so many people that use so many different sites nowadays that you need to be everywhere where somebody can find you. If you're just on Airbnb, hey, that's great. But what about the people that are on Expedia? If you're just on Expedia, what about the people that are on HomeAway or Booking.com or all these other sites? So you have to be everywhere where somebody is so that they can find you and be able to book to you. Not only are they going to drive bookings to you through these channels, but they're also going to bring you direct bookings because there's so many people looking out there that they just want to go to your site, check it out, see the reviews, and be able to book. So you have to be everywhere where somebody can book. You know, like AdWords or pay-per-click, it's not set and forget it. There's a lot of things that go into your placement and being successful on these channels. You got to be able to change your rates based on season. You got to be able to do promotion. Can I do a 3-night promotion? Can I do a 4-night or a 5-night? You know, all of these things start to plan. What are the quality of my photos? What do my descriptions say? And you got to keep on this, and you got to be able to know what your competitors are doing, as we talked about earlier, and all of these other types of things as far as what I should be priced, should I do a promotion, what's my season, etc., to drive more people. You can't just put your price out there and then that's it, because obviously you're going to miss out on some great booking windows to make more money or to drive more people to your property. Managing multiple channels is difficult. We could go and you can get loaded on HomeAway. You'd give them their content and the rates and inventory and you'd be done. And then you'd have to do it again for Airbnb. And you'd have to do it again for Booking.com, Flipkey, and all of these other vacation rental channels. And then at the end of the day, congratulations, you now have 1 unit loaded. And now you got to do it again for another unit. And it's a very cumbersome way of doing business, and you don't have the resources to do it. You don't have the time and staff to sit there and do this for each and every one of your units. You just don't. But we'd like you to keep calm, because the only constant in life is change. So when we're talking about the 3 C's of change, cost, competition, and complexity, let's talk about the solution for all of these. The first thing is you have to be on as many distribution channels as possible. The more areas you're in, the more people that will see you, the more bookings you'll get through these sites and direct. Okay? You have a product, you need it to get out there, and people need to see it, and this is the best way possible. We're talking about 80 million unique online visitors per month that go to these sites. So you have the OTA channels, which are Booking.com's Expedia. You have the Airbnb, HomeAways, and Flipkeys of the world. And you have global distribution systems. How many people would like to get more bookings from travel agents? Let me see a show of hands. Great. I'm sure you're wondering, how can I get in front of travel agents? Well, the connection through us will also put you on what is called a GDS system, which connects you to where all travel agents are. So regardless of the system they use, if they're searching for your area, they're going to find you. At the end of the day, we want you to have more network, not more work. So when we were talking about you had to do all these things and you had 1 unit loaded, through the LeisureLInk system, you're going to get on all of these channels at once that I've just shown you just by signing up with us. And if you're already on those channels, or you're on a couple of them, we'll add you into the other ones. We'll streamline everything and have it all go through one system, so you're only getting dealing with one type of accounting, one type of reporting. Your rates and availability will be pulled in real time. Everything will be done in real time, market data and things like that. Not only that, but we have a lot of direct connect with a lot of the vendor, a lot of the property management systems here today, so that everything will go through those property management systems. So we work with Cyrus, who we've just signed up with. We work with Barefoot. We work with HomeAway and their suite of products. We also work with Streamline. We also work with RNN. So we work with everybody. So if you're utilizing one of these systems, everything will flow through their systems in real time to really save you time and money. Because again, the opportunity cost that we talked about, you just don't have the time to focus on everything. So we want to make it as easy as possible in this world and have it all go through your property management system, so you're managing it there, where you can take care of your guests and your owners and deal with all the other things you need to. Not only does our system make it easy for you and we connect into all these people, but we also provide you, and we've talked about the competition, with some competitive set data and some revenue management tools. So let's talk about the supply and demand of dynamic pricing and the benefits to you. I know a lot of you out there, here's here's your property management company, and here's the property price. And a lot of you are saying, well, I don't really need your help in my shoulder season, in my peak season, because I'm sold out. What I do is I really need help in the shoulder season. And you know what? These conversations that I have, I tell people, you know what? Are you booked 2 or 3 months in advance? And you probably are. And one of the reasons is you haven't taken into an account what your competitors in your building are priced and what your competitors across the street are priced, and maybe a couple of miles away that fit your model. And what you're going to find out is the reason you're sold out 2 to 3 months in advance is because you have the lowest price in the area. Now, if that's what your model was and that's what you were going for, absolutely, we can't argue with that. But if you're $100 less, then using our system will help you to gain $50 more per night per booking, and you can see where that's going to go, and you'll still be $50 less. So we're going to help you grow your revenue in your busy season. You got to look at it as the Super Bowl. If you have 2 seats left and somebody's going to book, then they should be paying top dollar for that home because you have such a great product and they're going to come to you. And then in the off season, you know, people need our help because they might be the most expensive one in the area and they just don't realize it. So our system is going to show you what your competitors in your building are across the street, miles away, and you get to choose that by unit type. So if you have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, you'll be able to measure that. If you want to measure against hotels or studios, you can absolutely do that. You know your competitor's product. You just need to know what their rate is, and you need to be able to see it 30, 60, 90 days out, which is what our system provides. And that way you can adjust your rates accordingly so that now we can drive more bookings to you in that off season. And at the end of the day, by bringing you more guests, you have an opportunity to have more repeat business. Okay, you know what your conversion is, so the more people that walk through that door, the more opportunities you have. Revenue management tools. So it's important to be able to capitalize on making more money and changing within what is going on in your market. Using LeisureLink's automated tools for rate and yield management, not only are going to save you time, as we've talked about, but they're going to increase revenue, as you've seen by the previous slide. 51%, you see a 51% of people utilizing the revenue management tools, user increase year over year, and 68% increase in nightly bookings year over year by utilizing the revenue management tools that we have. So if you're thinking, how can I do this more efficiently and effectively, LeisureLink has these tools to provide you that are going to bring you more bookings and grow your revenue in your busy season. You know, LeisureLink is the game changer. Now, let's talk a little bit more. LeisureLink was founded in 2006, so we've been doing this for some time. The industry is now finally understanding and catching up to what we've been doing. We represent over 1,000 property management companies, so you can imagine how many units that is. We represent anywhere from Wyndham Vacation Rentals to the Raintrees of the world to Resort Quest. So we do have the experience, and we have been doing this for a while. Also, we're not some startup company here presenting to you. We have been coming to these conferences for some time now, since 2007. We have over 200 employees to help you in our company to help to strategize and to make things work for you so that you can be more successful. We also have a dedicated account manager. We have a customer service team. So at the end of the day, we're an extension of your company, and we're going to help you to grow your revenue and grow more bookings, and we're going to do it efficiently and effectively without you adding any additional staff. Let's talk about some results. So here are the numbers year over year for these properties that I was telling you, property management companies that we represent. 26% annual growth in bookings from existing properties on the platform. 6% average daily rate growth. 20% occupancy growth. Now, is that what the average is? Is that what the high end is? No. Here are some of the properties that have been using us for quite some time and what they've seen. Keys Vacations, 297% increase in revenue. Majestic View, 52% increase in their gross bookings. Raintree Vacation Club, 425% year-over-year revenue increase. And Perfect Drive Golf Villas, which is here in Orlando, in Florida, saw a 33% increase during their slow season. So these are just some of the property management companies that are using it and some of these success stories. But on the average, you can see what we're doing for our clients. And then lastly, again, we want to reduce effort, okay? And we want you to reduce the effort. We want to simplify this whole 3 C's in what's going on and how to really win with distribution and show your owners that you have the opportunities to grow their revenue that they don't have. An owner can't go and get on all of these channels and manage them. They just can't go through us. But you as a property management company, you have all of these units, all of these buildings. We can work together and we can help grow your revenue, bring you more bookings, and that's how your owners are going to instill more into you and spend less time undercutting you and doing those types of things. And LeisureLInk delivered the advantage we needed to maximize our online revenues without increasing the burden of additional overhead. So again, at the end of the day, LeisureLInk is the game changer. We're going to get you on all the distribution channels. We are going to supply you with market data that you're going to be able to choose, and we're going to look at rates 30, 60, 90 days out of your competitors and see. We're going to provide you with a revenue management tool that'll do it all in real time based on your strategy. And we're going to simplify it by connecting into these property management companies so that it all is streamlined and it works, and you really don't have to do any manual or additional work. So once again, here's the proof. We're not a startup. We have over $1 billion in bookings delivered to the vacation property managers since 2007. This slide is probably this is new. So this is probably where we want to talk about we have over 200 employees and stuff like that. So sorry, that would go here. And then that's it. Thank you. My name is Michael Delatorre. Blah, blah, blah.